Backstage to Aries and Rude talking about clothing. And I like Aries and I like Rude. I really like these guys. They're both really talented guys. Aries is very young and he has a huge future ahead of him. He's very talented. And Rude, he's a bit of a veteran, especially in TNA. And he, you know, he's got it going on. I really support these guys, but this was just stupid because, like, so it's gonna be a three-way dance, I believe, at Genesis between Rude, Hardy, and Aries for the TNA title. But they're in a tag match together today, or yesterday. They were in a tag match against Hardy and James Storm, another guy I really like. So, where was I going with this? Oh, yes. So you cut to backstage with them, and like, Aries wears like a little cape. It sounds stupid, but bear in mind, it looks, you know, he pulls it off. He wears like just a small cape, and it says like, the greatest man who ever lived, or whatever they call him. And Bobby Roode like wears like, you know how like, it's not like Flair, but it is. It's like a robe, and it's like sparkly. I think Ric Flair had a lot of like feathers and stuff, but it's fancy, but it's not like Ric Flair fancy. It's not woo, you know. But Aries goes, well, I'm gonna change into my t-shirt when we go out. And Rude goes, well, I'm going to change into my t-shirt. And then Aries goes, well, I'm going to wear my cape. And Rude goes, well, I'm going to wear my coat. And it just goes on and on like this. Like, they keep on, and then they argue about some bullshit, and then they go back to doing that. And that was like 3-4 minutes of that. And I'm pretty sure we cut to a commercial after that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we cut the commercial. And, I don't like how they're making, like, Austin Aries, like, CM Punk light. Like, you get a hint of that every once in a while, and I don't like it. They're very similar, especially in the way they act and stuff, but you can kind of, you know, separate that if you wanted. But CM Punk's very popular, so I guess they're going with the flow. So we get Aries and Rude versus Hardy and Storm. I actually put this, don't know why Storm is out there, but good booking. Storm is probably next to RVD, which if you didn't know, he doesn't appear in this review. The X Division champion does not appear on Impact. And he doesn't appear in the pay-per-view. We'll get to that in a little while. But yeah, RVD. Love him. Love you. But I like Storm a lot. Love Storm too. But anyway, I'm really tired already of Hardy being champ. Especially with that 2-belt bullshit where he has that like immortal Hardy belt. I feel like they're putting like all their like attention on Hardy when, I don't know, maybe I'm just tired of seeing the guy because I've been seeing him since I was a kid. Same thing with Angle, I feel that way. Excuse me. But, you know, the crowd loves him. I have nothing against Hardy. It's just, they should put the spotlight on a younger guy like they were doing with Aries. But they put it on Hardy. I don't know. The guy is doing better. He's not on drugs anymore. Yeah. But anyway, again, it's a younger generation. They probably haven't seen the Hardy matches. I've been watching them since I was 12, 11 years old. But, you know, whatever. I like the guy. No problem. Good worker still. Let's see. Something happened in this match. Taz mentioned how horrible Aries' tights were, and they were bad, but I didn't see any reason to mention it. Like, I think they were like flower print, like that floral like couch. I think. I don't really remember, but then we get a commercial break. In the one match I want to see they get a commercial break. And it was weird. They had like an FX like commercial for like anger management, which fuck Charlie Sheen. I never thought he was funny, but I just thought I should mention this, that FX, they put out really good commercials for their shows, but the shows suck. Like, remember that one? I don't remember what it was called. But it had Dennis Leary and he was a firefighter. They had amazing commercials for that. Too bad the show fucking sucked. Rescue Me. It's called fucking Rescue Me. Okay. So we come back and the match continues. Totally different place than what it was. They just kept on fighting her through that commercial. And we didn't get to see it. Some of the top stars in their fucking company, and we don't get to see them. But this is where I start to get a little pissed off. So there's an interference by Kaz and Daniels, and sorry, getting a soda. So Kaz actually comes out awkwardly enough, wearing like a very Hernandez-y Chavo like headband. In fact, I thought it was Hernandez at first, but then quickly found out that he wasn't built like a horse. Hernandez is huge. I guess that's why they call him the Supermax. But anyway, yeah, I thought that was really weird. But anyway, they start fucking with Storm, who's the legal man at this time, and it somehow spills outside the ring, and they just start kicking the crap out of James Storm, and the ref doesn't call for the bell for a disqualification. And Hardy gets into the ring, and he pulls off his like twist of fate, and goes for a pin. He's not the legal man. He's not the legal man. And it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't go anywhere. I think it was Aries who. No, it was Rude who kicks out, and Aries comes up from behind Hardy and hits Hardy with the belt, like his championship belt, and that calls for disqualification right there. But yeah, TNA refs at their best. And we cut back to backstage to Brooke Hogan, who is meeting Babe. We don't get a Mark because that's Bully Ray's real name, and she's real close to him, so she calls him Mark, which is, yeah. Anyway, we go to commercial. We randomly get Matt Morgan and Joey Ryan when we come back. I like Joey Ryan. I like his whole like sleazy gimmick. It kind of sets him apart from the rest of the guys. That's why I like him. But they call themselves the it's like Big Morgan and the Big Organ, or Morgan and the Organ, or something like that. But they had a promo because they're going up against the tag champs, which I'm pretty sure they did last pay-per-view. But anyway, Chavo and Hernandez attack, and anarchy ensues, and I actually wrote, shouldn't it be the other way around, seeing as that Morgan and the Organ are the heels? But, whatever. Genesis. We get full-fledged Genesis, like, rundown of what's going to be on Genesis. And we get Joseph Park versus Devon. That's who he picked. So, yeah. I didn't see it going any other way. And then, Daniels versus Torn. Daniels... Dry mouth. It's a killer. Christopher Daniels versus James Storm. Why? Because of that little interference during his match. That's why. No story. Nothing. The guys are really talented, but there's got to be a story. You can't just be like... I don't know. I thought it was stupid. And, I mean, the booking is pretty subpar. Like, I've seen these guys go up against each other 100 times. There's no reason they have to waste one of their 4 pay-per-views on Genesis. I mean, there's other ones. I don't even remember. I forgot to mention last week, they gave the TNA Wrestler of the Year award to Jeff Hardy, which was like a big trophy. The funny part is like Rude and Aries like attacked him, like double teamed him, and like Aries like picks up the trophy and like smashes it into Hardy's gut. Or no, I'm sorry. Hardy moves out of the way and he hits Rude. But when he hits Rude, it like snaps and like little pieces go flying and it's like bent. And he went, ugh. And he like and kind of threw it down, and Hardy had like fought him off and like walked away with his bent trophy. But they have they had a bunch of promos for like the main event of Genesis, which is the three-way dance. Next in line, and this was supposed to be the last match, but you will find out that it is not, because Mr. Anderson versus Angle never happens. Let's see what happened. I don't remember quite as well as I should. I did put, did Aces and Eights pick Anderson on the account that he wears sleeveless shirts and their vest would go well with it? Because there's 100 other guys. Why not pick Aries? He's a heel. He could probably be persuaded. Or Rude. Rude's pretty lethal and is a heel. Why? Why Anderson? I don't understand. Anderson takes so long in his entrance that his actual theme song loops. Like it starts, like it stops, and then loops again. That was pretty funny. He does this thing where like, and it's like, I know that's a heel thing to like kind of be kind of wormy. And whenever they like are about to start, they like the face will like try to grab him and then like exit the ring. But almost every match in TNA starts that way. Especially like main event matches or bigger stars. To like roll out of the ring, and like they'll just take like 2-3 minutes to walk around the ring, or the face will like climb out of the ring, and they'll go out and outside the ring until they got to get back in the ring because of count out. I just wanted to note that because it just gets boring after a while. It's like for a while, and it kind of replaced how in TNA there was a lot of roll-up pins for a while. Yeah, they start trash talking, and Mike Knox attacks Angle in the neck. Like, he hits him with the hammer, like this what do they call it? What's that controversial hammer that they always bring out? Controversial is not the right word. I apologize. I'm an idiot. But he hits him in the neck. Like, Mike Knox sneaks up from behind Angle and just, you know, hits him in the neck. Which, by the way, Angle's neck is so fucked up from years of landing on it. You don't have to take a hammer to it. Just flick it. And he'll probably be paralyzed for life. But anyway, he gets down and he's like, oh, and like holding on to his neck. And Mike Knox like gets over him and is like gonna like finish blow him. And Garrett Bischoff and Angle's boyfriend Wes Briscoe make the save. And if I had anybody that I wanted to save me from Mike Knox hitting me with a hammer, it would not be Garrett Bischoff and Wes Briscoe. Because Garrett Bischoff sucks, and Wes Briscoe, he's okay, but he's not really, like, on par with, like, say, Samoa Joe, Jeff Hardy, you know, that type. You know, doesn't Wes Briscoe look like if Kurt Angle and Rob Van Dam somehow had a kid? He does. But because of this, okay, because of the hammer incident, they kind of scare him away. And they kind of bring out the stretcher and they put Angle on it. And oh yeah, Sting comes out and he wants Knox to himself, mano a mano. And so he calls him to fight, and we get a commercial break. You know, the entire not the entire climax of this, because this is long from over. This Aces and Eights angle is long from over. But the climax of this Impact, go to commercial, which at this time they did show the Sylvester Stallone movie, and I remarked how I would like to see, because they're coming out right around the same time, I would like to see the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie and the Sylvester Stallone movie back to back. I haven't been able to do that in years. Y'all should probably do it too. And you think I mentioned these commercials, and I mentioned other stuff, but imagine like if I had a show like this one where I am paid to talk nothing but wrestling, and I sit there, I talk for wrestling for a little bit, and then I get on I start talking about something else randomly, and then I go back. You can't get into the action, and you can't get into the... And that's kind of what I'm doing, but it's for a good cause. I make it work. I make it work. I honestly believe, and I'm not a huge squash matches, but I think Sting versus Knox should have been a squash match, with Sting being the squasher. Seeing as that Sting is Superman, it pretty much was a squash match, but Knox kind of put up a fight. I don't know. Aces and Eights have lost up to this point, and another loss isn't going to be much anyway. And he does lose. He gets his ass kicked. Sting decides that he's gonna just smash, crackle. He's gonna smash open his, knocks his head like a melon with this hammer. And Devon has a mic. He comes out and he has Brooke captured. They've captured Brooke, and he's like threatening for him to stop, or he's going to do something to Brooke. Brooke actually doesn't look that terrified. But Bully Ray comes and makes a save. The hero of our story, Bully Ray, comes and makes a save with his chain wallet in hand, no less. He didn't have time to get another, like an actual chain, you know, like the one that he wears around his neck every single time he comes out to the ring. He has to grab that wallet chain. But you know, Bully Ray does his thing. He goes like this and they all run away. No, he fights him off single-handedly, might I add. And Hogan comes out to no music. By the way, when Hogan enters, why does he get pyro? He's not wrestling. There's only a few of those guys that get pyro. Hogan shouldn't be one of them. Again, this is coming from a Hogan fan. Huge Hogan fan, actually. I have all his movies. There's some bad ones in there. Anyway, I'm getting off track. So, after this happens, like he just enters and just kind of stands there like this, on kind of like the ramp. You know, that stern Hogan way. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I don't have any sunglasses right now, but he has his sunglasses on. And it cuts to commercial again. Because we don't want to see the climax of these four guys in the ring. Because Sting has something to do with it. Anyway. Hogan, Sting, Bully, and Brooke are in the ring. And this is bad writing right here. Or it's the best writing you've ever heard. Let's get to this. Hogan blames Sting for the kidnapping. Because he, I don't know, told Aces and Eights where they're going to be. He's a good guy, Hogan. And he is a dick to Bully for saving her. Now, you might have caught a little bit of this if you're a wrestling fan. About the whole Hogan and Bully, how they don't like each other. Some of y'all might not know that there's like a history there that I think they know, but they most likely don't. And that is that Bully Ray murdered Abyss. I know he's come back, like I've said. He's come back since then, not to really wrestle, just to be there and be menacing to Joseph Park, his brother, for some reason. Excuse me. But he thought he murdered Abyss. He's not a face. How can you turn some guy face after he, if not murdered, attempted to murder another wrestler? And now they've brought in his brother, and he's part of the beast that killed his brother. So, with that in mind, and the fact that Hogan and Abyss were really close, so close in fact that he gave and Abyss wore his WWE Hall of Fame ring, and the fact that they went and turned heel pretty much at the same in the same scheme of time, and both were part of Immortal, you'd imagine that they're both pretty close. So he has every right to not trust Bully or trust him with his daughter, seeing as that he's a murderer. And everyone else is crazy. It may seem like Hogan is crazy, but everyone else is crazy. And Bully says this. Bully said, and the one guy who shouldn't say it, he says, "You're crazy, Hulk!" I noted that Brooke looked extremely calm for just being kidnapped. And I've said all this. Even if you cut out the past stuff, which they do, believe me, this is only by chance that Hogan is following the story that I mentioned earlier. This is where it starts to get stupid. Bully states that he loves Brooke more than wrestling. He didn't know it was possible. Hogan drops his mic and he's like ready. He's getting ready to punch the fuck out of Bully Ray. Just one swing, Bully, and he'll be paralyzed for life. I guarantee you. I mean, I don't know why they try to make Hogan look threatening. Like, when he was being put up against the Aces and Eights, they'd like rush him, and he'd like punch him one at a time, and like he punched them one at a time, and they'd fall over, and like they'd be really hurting. I quoted Bully also saying, "I'm not good at all these feelings," and he does that. He like does his hand motion. I noted that this love story feels so artificial, seeing as that we've never seen them kiss, make out. I think we've seen them hold hands a few times, but that's about it. They don't seem like they're in love. And he drops to one knee. Bully Ray drops to one knee. And as cliche as you can get, he asks her to marry him. And for those that are thinking right now, well, they could have been keeping this thing a secret for years. They could have, because they've been together for 3 months. Again, it's a valid argument, a very valid argument, because we don't know how long they've been keeping this love of theirs a secret. But don't worry, he mentions that. He's quoted. I quote this. Our entire relationship has played out in front of the camera. 2 months. 3 months. The one thing that was saving this from making a little bit of sense. And they're getting married next week. On Impact, which kind of soils the memorable weddings that they've had in wrestling stories, like the Miss Elizabeth and Macho Man, the Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Those are the two I think there was a Test and Stephanie McMahon one that was broken up by Triple H. But yeah. And what does TNA have? They have ODB and Eric Young getting married, and this. I noted that Hogan growls while exiting. Or like, he's walking, like, after this happens, he's like, that's it, I've had enough of this shit, and walks, gets out of the ring and walks up the ramp, and while he's walking, he's got his head down, and he's going, which, I don't remember him back in the day doing that, but he He did that in another part when he was, again, against Aces and Eights. He, like, cracked one over the head with, like, a bat. And was standing over it and it was just growling like that, going, It was really weird then, and it's really weird now, Hulk. And that was really it. I noted that seemed like a really slapped together story. Really. So in the next few days we got Genesis. I think I don't want to, because I mean I want to keep on doing Raw, but this might push back the next Raw one back a little bit, and I want to do that one because it's the 20th anniversary, and it's here where I am in Houston, and I didn't know, and I didn't get tickets. I'm pretty sure it's here. Yeah, I really want to get it. Get my thoughts on it. Because I'm sure it's going to be good. Because the 1000th episode was really good with the DX reunion. And I heard Alundra Blaze is coming. And I heard Viscera, or Big Daddy V as you younger kids might know him as. I know him as Viscera. I heard he might have something to do with it. Yeah. That might be a pretty good show. And hopefully Ric Flair will pop up. Because there's nothing. I hope they let him cut loose. Like, if you ever saw him in TNA, whenever he was in TNA, of course, whenever they let him cut loose, magic. That's all I have to say. He has so much energy whenever he's talking and whatever he's doing, especially like WCW. When he came to WWE for a little while, that guy's awesome. But yeah, if one of them's gonna go, it's Genesis, because I don't think really anything's gonna happen. I will do a Genesis one if I had the time. But yeah. You know what, let's do a Genesis one. Usually their pay-per-views are pretty straightforward. There's not a lot of backstage scenes or anything like that. It's just straightforward matches most of the time. So yeah, let's do a Genesis one, and then so you will see me on Monday for Genesis, and then hopefully Tuesday or Wednesday for the Monday Night Raw 20th anniversary. Yes, yes, yes. So I will see you then, and until then, take care of yourself. I'll be here reviewing the terrible fucking Impact Wrestling and really good Raws. They're really good Raws because we're going to WrestleMania. See you later.